Okay. No frames are being dropped. Awesome. Alright, I'm live. I don't know if they can hear us, though.
Hello.
Hello. Mix. Twitch, turn you up. Hello all. Okay, they can hear us. Cool. Cool beans.
Awesome.
Yep. Okay, they all three can hear us. Woo!
All three of the viewers.
Yay. So how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
That's good. I'm glad.
We're excited.
I've just tweeted about said interview, and so I have a feeling that more people will show up soon.
And more than likely be like, oh my gosh, it's Jepson!
Hello. Gee, I like the first person in the chat already.
What, Jesus Grandma?
His name is Jesus Grandma, I guess. I'm a fan. Hello.
Yeah. Yay! Do you just want to start, or do you want me to wait?
No, you can go ahead. Whenever you want to go.
Alright. I guess I'll go then. Hi, everybody! Welcome to Interview Me. I'm Aaron Williams, and this is...
Josh Jepson, hello.
Gotta let you introduce yourself since you...
Oh, right. Well, okay, hang on a second. Let me redo that then. Hello, everybody. My name is Josh Jepson, but you knew that already.
Sorry, somebody just asked if you married MCS already.
No. Enough of this. It's just been too long. However, that video where Emil did that intro for the Runaway guys in New Super Mario Bros. U, or not New Super Mario Bros. U, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, rather. That video has over 5 million views. So, F my life.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, though.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about Josh. Most of you, if not all of you, already know who Josh is. But I thought I'd at least do the introduction because that's the new thing now on Interview Me.
Go for it.
Okay, so Josh Jepson first started his LPs on a channel called Friend Codes Suck, where some LPs from his current channel were basically remade. After some misfortune, Friend Code Suck was shut down, and some of the LPs that were done on Friend Code Suck include some LP like Banjo-Kazooie, which ended up being Josh's first Let's Play he ever did. Soon, Josh hit YouTube by force through his channel, Josh Jepson.
Yes.
Yeah. Where he has done game series such as Rayman, Mario, and Zelda. Soon after hitting the YouTube community, Josh started truly hitting stride by joining the Runaway guys in Super Mario Bros. Wii, and even joined the lovely Miss Lucagen in Barbie Horse Adventure and Mystery Ride.
Yes.
Where the horse and my balls stole the show. Josh has captured many hearts, whether it's by his humor by eating old men, Jesus Grandma, or it's supposed to go at an angle. Josh definitely is someone that has made LPs fresh and new with every video he comes out with. And I'm so proud to say I look up to this guy. So, thus I'm proud to and honored to welcome the show, Mr. Josh Jepson.
Thank you for the introduction. Fun fact about my channel too. Josh Jepson, the account Josh Jepson, was actually signed up for before Friend Code Suck was my first ever channel. And I did some stupid little videos that were long since gone from that channel, but it was actually signed up for 1 week after Nintendo Capri Sun was signed up for.
Wow.
Yeah, and I just think back on it now. I'm like, Well, Nintendo Capri Sun is kind of huge on YouTube right now, and where would I be if I had started Let's Playing back then when I first made the account? Yeah, I just think about that sometimes.
Well, if you guys haven't seen the show, I don't recognize some of the names. So basically, what happens is I ask my questions to Josh, which is probably the most questions I've ever asked anybody I've interviewed. And then you guys get to ask questions for as long as Josh desires to answer.
I would like to say before we start answering questions that I feel honored that you would like to interview me, because you've interviewed a lot of bigger names already, and so I feel very honored to be on your show today.
Aww. I actually wasn't expecting that. Apparently, one of our picks is hilarious. I'm not going to ask which one.
I'm going to go ahead and assume it's mine. I'm making a really derpy face.
Yeah.
But then again, that's every picture I'm in.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm having a staring contest with Josh's pictures. Anyway, on that note, basically I'm going to go through LPs that Josh has done, and then I'm going to go through co-op sports / races that he's done, and finally we're going to go to Jepson.
Awesome.
Also blind games that you've done.
Yes, indeed.
We're going to start with the current LP you're doing by yourself. Glover. This is a game that I personally have never seen, but so far I'm really enjoying it. But the big thing in this game is collecting Garibs, which in essence is cards, basically.
Right, yeah.
You mentioned that later levels are jerks. So is there one world that you're not looking forward to because of the Garibs?
Oh, for sure. Actually, it's not the one that I'm currently on in the most recent video that went out today, but the level after this one. It's I don't want to spoil anything, but it's kind of a doozy, especially with some of the Garibs are kind of tricky to get. I think most of the difficulty behind the game, though, is its controls and the physics of just trying to get the ball everywhere. So that's really where it comes in. Makes a challenge getting some of the Garibs.
Alright, and what made you choose this game? Was it more the feeling it brings back from when you were playing it growing up, or was it more because the LP is rare, so it was more unique?
It was a little bit of both, actually, because I've wanted to LP this game for quite some time, but I just never really got around to playing through it again. But I sat down and I started playing the game, and I went to go look at a Let's Play to see what other people kind of, to get an idea of what other people do with the game and how they play the game. And I noticed a surprising lack of Let's Plays of this game out there. And so I was just like, I gotta do it. I gotta do it now. So I've been playing through the game on my own time and kind of getting an idea of what I want to do in the Let's Play. And then I'll fire the game up and do a Let's Play of it. So it's going well so far, I think.
And how do you feel about the physics of the game with the ball? Would you say it's something as bad, like ball physics-wise, as Okami? Or because the ball physics in that are terrible? Or would you say...
I would say it's too accurate with the physics. The ball bounces just everywhere. It's all over the place, and I don't know. It's too realistic for my taste. For an N64 game, it's pretty impressive.
So the balls are everywhere. The ball bounces everywhere.
The balls are everywhere.
Alright, you've been doing good in the game so far, with the audience feedback. Was that a concern going in, to how your audience would, like the game?
I don't know if I had any expectations. I had a sneaking suspicion that there would be a select few of my viewers that would really, really like the game, but I was a little bit blown away by the fact that most people were like, wow, man, I played this game as a kid. I thought nobody but me liked this game. And a lot of people said that, so I'm really glad that at the way it's been received, a lot of people really, really like it. So I'm glad.
All right, and now we're gonna jump way back.
Okay.
First LP you did, Banjo-Kazooie.
The first LP I did, Banjo-Kazooie, on Friend Code Suck.
Yep. You mentioned Banjo-Kazooie as one of your favorite series, if not your favorite series of games all time. Why is that? Is it something such as the environment, or something much deeper?
It's deeper than just the game itself, I think. But it is a grand game, and a lot of people really, really love that series, or at least the first two games in the series. For me, it holds a lot of childhood memories for me, and so I go back and I play the game, and I just kind of reminisce, I guess, on a simpler time. But no, I really, really love Banjo-Kazooie. And I would say, going back, like, speaking of my LP, I thought that the way that LP turned out was not that great. I mean, it was my first LP after all, but I feel like even the one on my channel, because I did redo it on Josh Jepson eventually, I think that one was actually one of my worst LPs. And I feel so bad, because it is one of my favorite games of all time, and I would like to do a proper Let's Play of it. And so I would like to say that I am planning on redoing that Let's Play as well as Banjo-Tooie one day. Possibly soon.
Nice. Also, I get questions wondering, like, who's, like, banning people. I want to inform you guys, I told Josh if anybody gets out of line, that he is more than welcome to time out or block.
I blocked a person who came in basically impersonating me, I believe. His name was Josh Pepson.
Yeah, so I want you guys to know, if you guys are getting out of line, Josh may ban you or time you out, because I've given him that power.
Yeah. I've only banned one person, so it's like...
Yeah,
I mean,
so, just letting you guys know. Josh Pepsi Jepson.
Josh Alright.
What's your favorite part of this LP, whether it's from the first time you made it or the second time? Because a lot of people probably, if they just now found you, they probably don't know your first time playing it.
Well, as of the LP, like what my favorite moment? Okay, well, that's the biggest part of why I want to redo it, is that there's not really any memorable moments from either of those Let's Plays. I wouldn't be able to tell you right now something interesting that happened in those Let's Plays, because they weren't interesting. So that's part of the reason why I would like to redo them, because it's been eating at the back of my mind that they're not that so. But I don't know. I think that there were some things, like towards the end of the LP, I started doing this thing where I would have the audience name each episode, and that got kind of fun. A lot of interesting names popped up for the episode titles, but other than that, there's really nothing interesting that came out of that Let's Play.
Yeah. So, what world would you say gave you the worst trouble?
Oh, it's kind of given. Rusty Bucket Bay. Rusty Bucket Bay gives everyone trouble, except for Super Genius. Apparently, he did a Let's Play of Banjo-Kazooie as well, and he pretty much lost Rusty Bucket Bay.
And I'm gonna jump to Zelda, because you've done so many Zelda games.
A lot of people say that my channel is really well known for doing Zelda games.
You have, let me see, you have Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, A Link to the Past, and Ocarina of Time.
Yep, and before we move on with this, I would like to say that it's been pretty much a goal of mine since the very, very beginning of my channel to Let's Play every single Zelda game, like every single one. That's like when I started Let's Playing, I was like, I'm going to do every single Zelda game. So, we have yet to see more.
So soon you'll have Majora's Mask and stuff like that on there too.
Except for the CDI games. Shut up, chat.
Alright, we're going to start with Twilight Princess, because this was the first LP that you had on your new, quote-unquote, new channel.
Right, yeah.
On the Josh Jepson channel. Zelda Twilight Princess was made on both GameCube and Wii. What made you choose the Wii version? Was it because of how it looked? Like the graphics were a little bit more up to date? Or
I chose it because I owned the game. I didn't have the GameCube one. I never played the GameCube one. I still haven't played the GameCube one. That was the one I bought was the Wii one, and I got it, release day of the Wii. Because it actually came out on the Wii first, even though it was designed for the GameCube. It came out on the GameCube a few weeks later. So, I mean, that's why I played that one, basically because I had it. Had I played the GameCube one first, I probably would have LP'd that. But, yeah, that, and there wasn't really that many. When I first started the game, a lot of people were saying that there wasn't really that many Wii version Let's Plays of that game out there. And so a lot of people found mine and watched mine because most of the Let's Plays were on GameCube.
Yeah, the controls are slightly different.
Well, the controls are different, and the entire world is mirrored as well, so it gets confusing. Like, if you're playing the Wii version and you want a guide or something, and you want to watch a Let's Play to help you get through the game, you would want to watch that version of the game. It would be confusing watching the GameCube version and trying to play it mirrored on the Wii.
Alright, and something you always mention in your LP that I remember most about it is the evil baby.
Oh man, I wish there were more chances for the evil baby to crop up in my future Let's Plays, because he's a mascot on my channel. Or he was at the time. He was basically my channel's mascot for a while. And yeah, he's funny. I like the evil baby a lot.
A young child from Link's hometown, Oran Village, was one of the main things that kept coming back on the LP. What made you refer to the kid as the evil baby?
Oh, because he's evil. He's just evil. That and his name is Mallow, and I believe in like Italian or something, Mallow means evil. He's an evil baby.
All right.
That and have you heard the music that plays in his shop?
Yeah.
He's brainwashing everyone with that music.
Everybody's dancing to it when you walk in.
Indeed.
It's one of the few Zelda games I've almost beaten.
Yep.
The Twilight Zone, as I like to call them. I have a feeling you were going to do that. You definitely grew up in the 90s.
What about them?
Was where you were looking for the pieces of the light. Was there one that you thought that you were going to have trouble with that you didn't, or one that you didn't think you were going to have trouble with and you did? Or were they all pretty easy?
I wouldn't say I had trouble with any of them, really, except for the one in Kakariko Village, I believe is the second one.
Yeah.
It took me way longer than it should have, but I mean, it was still pretty simple overall. I don't mind the Twilight segments. A lot of people say that those kind of ruin the game for the most part. Like, I've heard that people say that Twilight Princess would have been the perfect Zelda game if it weren't for the Twilight segments, and I disagree wholeheartedly with that. I think that they were interesting and they added a little bit more variety to the game. They weren't the greatest thing, but I mean, whatever. That, and in terms of my LP, it was the third Twilight segment on the lake, where I came up with my intro. That's when I started using my standard intro at the beginning of every episode. I'm Josh Jepson, but you knew that already. I just decided to kind of say that one time, and it just so happened to be in one of those. I don't know. I just thought about that well. Twilight segments.
The Wind Waker LP.
Indeed. Oh, good Lord.
Don't worry, I didn't drill you at all. So don't worry. This game is one of the games that definitely pulls the kid out of you. no matter what the age. So even though it brings a kid out of you, it brings a lot of rage. So first, what dungeon, whether it's with the bird girl, as I always called her, or the mini tree, as I always called it, which one gave you more trouble?
Oh boy.
Or which one did you want to beat in the face more?
Which dungeon? Oh my goodness. Oh boy. The the one with Medley, I think, was the more difficult one in terms of my LP, because I think I had a little bit of trouble with that one. I'm trying to think back now. It's kind of a while ago, but I think the one with Medley, the Earth Temple, swirly Earth Temple, swirly. I think that one gave me the most trouble out of all of the temples. Although I will say that the Forbidden Forest fuck was also a doozy.
That was funny though.
Yep.
The other part that makes people rage a lot are the C charts in this game, because some of them can be jerks to get.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And some of the hard pieces as well can be jerks, but mostly the C charts. Especially the luck-based games, such as the games in the auction part of it. So, which were you least looking forward to, the game C charts or the auction C charts? Because either can go both ways.
Well, some of the C charts that I had a lot of trouble with were the ones where I had to go way, way out of my way and fight like dozens and dozens of monsters for a C chart that got me rupees I was never going to use. The auction was actually really easy, because there's not really that much to it. I mean, yeah, it's random, but there's not that many prizes. So it does take a while, but it's not like it's difficult to do. It's time consuming. And so that doesn't really bother me. Time consuming stuff in video games never bothers me.
And I just saw a thing that made me laugh. My favorite part of the LP is when you get the double magic and you start laughing really hard about how Link is standing.
Oh, I don't remember what he looks like. I don't even remember that. Double magic. Oh boy.
You'll probably get some thing later for it.
Probably. Yeah, I don't even remember that. That's funny, yeah. I mean, I remember it now that you mention it, but I don't remember what he looks like. I laugh at some really weird stuff. There's another part of that Let's Play as well, where it's actually at the end of the Let's Play, where I'm fighting Ganon, and the puppet Ganon is defeated, and he goes up to the ceiling, and Ganon starts laughing to let you know that he's not over with yet. And I'm just like, stop laughing at me, ceiling! And that made me laugh. I don't know if it was even significant to anyone else, but that made me laugh when I was editing it. So I've referenced it a couple times in some of my later LPs.
Ocarina of Time.
Indeed.
I didn't really talk much about the Link to the Past, just because that's way the interview for my questions has been on forever, so you guys can actually ask your questions.
I see.
So, yes, anyway, this game brings back childhood memories for me, personally, as a kid gamer in the 90s. Because as we all know, that was like the huge game in the 90s. Navi is a character in the game that annoys just about everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Who has played the game? Were you able to bring humor out of Navi, do you think, with how much she annoys everyone?
I thought I did at the time, but it kind of like it started off like Navi would interrupt me, I'd be like, Navi! And then I would give her like a weird voice. But that kind of trailed off towards the end of the LP. I'm a little sad that I didn't stick with that through the whole thing. But I don't know, Navi's funny. I don't think Navi is the most annoying Zelda companion. I think Link has had some more annoying companions before.
Like the one from Skyward Sword.
Oh, just don't even get me started on Fee. Don't even.
I wanted to beat her in the face.
Yeah.
On multiple occasions.
But I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who's not played the game, but Fee, I like Fee more once you get to know her. We'll just leave it at that.
I always wanted to punch her in the face, so.
Okay.
if she was a real person, we would have gone. Like, it wouldn't have been pretty. I would have won though. How do you feel about Link's tree issue? I don't know if you remember, but there's a video online about some of the times from Ocarina of Time, and one of them is where Link refused to hit the tree. Over and over, like you would roll into a tree, and usually you'd hit the tree, but for some odd reason, Link would be like, "No, tree!"
I know what you're talking. It took me a second. I'm like, wait, what are you talking? Oh, right. That was stupid. That was. It probably went on for like a minute and a half. I was trying to roll into that tree. Screw that tree.
Because it happened twice that I've seen.
Oh, really?
One was in Kakariko, and the other one was in Hyrule Field.
Ah, right.
By the lake.
Damn trees. Always foiling me.
Link just wants to hug them. He doesn't want to hurt them. The biggest thing about this game is getting medallions. You called them cookies.
I did. I did.
He's laughing at himself.
Hey, man. Hey, if you can't laugh at yourself, you're not... I mean, I don't even care if anybody else laughs at me. I make my videos, and when I'm editing them back, if I don't make myself laugh, that video is not good to me. Yeah. Even though other things in that video may make other people laugh, I make my own videos to make me laugh most of the time. I think I'm funny. I find myself and my stupid jokes funny, even when no one else does. You
are very, very funny. The biggest thing about this game is, like I said, getting the medallion.
Right.
When did you decide to call them cookies? Have you always called them cookies? Or was it just for the LP? Or where is that moment you're like, hey, it looks like a cookie?
It was just for the LP. I'm like, man, I'm doing all this stuff, and Link needs to get rewarded somehow, and he's not getting anything for it. Just these things that don't, the metal things. So I'm like, maybe they're cookies. Maybe he's getting shiny yellow cookies for completing all of these quests. I don't know. It started in the LP. I never really called them cookies before that. But I thought it was funny.
Now we're on to the blind games you've done.
Well, I have one more thing to say about Ocarina of Time before we go on. The Ocarina of Time Let's Play was probably one of the most fun Let's Plays for me to do. I really, 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 really thought that came out really good. And I'd like to thank everybody who watched it, because there's so many Let's Plays of that game out there, and I tried my hardest to make it different and fun for everyone, and I'm glad that everyone watched and enjoyed it. So thank you for watching.
Kind of reminded me of somebody else's LP. Sorry.
Whose LP is that?
Or not LP, vlog.
Oh.
You know them, so I'm not even going to mention it. I'll tell you later. You're probably really confused now.
I think you're talking about Steven Vlog.
Yeah. I didn't know if you caught on. So you're like, let's read! So
anyway,
on to blind games.
Blind games.
He puts a blindfold over himself. Elo Milo is definitely a collection game, along with a story that just touches the heart. Were you expecting this game to be as impactful or as full of emotion as it was?
Not at all. I didn't expect anything like that, actually. I went into the game expecting it to be a really interesting puzzle game, and ended up being actually kind of a boring puzzle game with an interesting story. I thought most of the puzzles were really, really interesting, and so that kind of kept me going, but not interesting, but difficult, but only because they were tricky. But for the story-wise, I was really not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. I thought that was kind of a mediocre Let's Play anyway, but I did enjoy playing the game.
And you mentioned the fact in general that you like games where you have to collect stuff.
Right, I do. I love games like that.
I love games.
I love games.
I do.
I love games.
Is that one of the reasons why you chose Elo Milo, because it has that element?
No. I chose it because it's a puzzle game. At the time, the collection element actually I thought was not done that well. I didn't really find myself enjoying collecting everything as much as the LP went on. But the puzzles were really what drove me to want to play that game, because I love puzzle games as well.
And how did you stumble on this game?
I had played a demo of it on Xbox Live quite some time ago, and I decided to try it again, just because. Like when the game first came out, I tried the demo of it, and then like a year or two later, I tried the demo again. I'm like, yeah, you know. And at the time, I was looking for a short LP that I could just easily do blind, and so I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. I'll try this and see where it goes.
And we're gonna jump to Yoshi's Island.
Yes, Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island is like one of my favorite Let's Plays still.
This is the first big game in my mind for Yoshi, as he's basically taking care of Baby Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Did the fact that you were Yoshi make it harder to play a game such as this, like control-wise?
Yoshi controls he's very floaty. Okay, actually, I would describe it as bouncy. His controls are bouncy. Moving Yoshi around is definitely more imprecise than, say, Super Mario World. But I think it doesn't matter because I'm terrible at side-scrollers anyway. So, that was a lot of fun. That LP was a lot of fun.
And then the timer had a huge deal in this game. Would you say it made the fact that you were playing it blind harder?
There was a timer?
Like when you lost Baby Mario, you had that timer going down?
I don't think I ever had any trouble with that, actually. There was one time in particular that I can remember that was really funny. But no, that never really gave me trouble. I would say, because I've actually tried since that LP to 100% the game on my own time. 100%ing the game is really, really, really difficult. And so stuff like losing the timer becomes a lot more important in that because in order to 100% the game, you have to end the level with your timer at max.
Yeah.
So it makes it more difficult.
You know, I'm really tempted to do my dark voice for this game.
Okay.
And you're gonna laugh once I do it.
Okay.
You know. Oh gosh, that hurt. This is probably the darkest game we've done on your channel, by far. Probably
the darkest game I'll ever do.
What made you stray away from doing games such as Mario 64 or Link to the Past, which you ended up doing, but something like those games? And
yeah.
What made you want to do something dark and kind of creepy?
I wanted to do something that I've never done on my channel, and I wanted to take a dark, spooky game and have a more toned-down commentary to go along with it. So that's something I'd never done before on my channel. Usually my commentary is very upbeat and on this and whatever. It's not supposed to go at a fucking angle or whatever. But I wanted to tone it down a little bit for one LP and just see what that looked like. And I wouldn't want to do a really wacky game and then have like calm commentary, which doesn't make any sense. So I wanted to pick a game that would be that I knew right off the bat would be very calm and quiet and down to earth, essentially. But it still ended up being kind of quirky and interesting and funny. So I'm really happy with the way that Limbo turned out.
Some of the puzzles in that game are definitely hard. Is there one puzzle that completely stumped you and you're like, yeah?
There was one puzzle where I had to pull a box, I guess I had to get a box up on top of like a platform and put it on a switch, and that made like a rope come down. But the rope wasn't, it didn't ever come down low enough. You needed to do something more. And there was, I think, this platform, it was like an elevator that took you from the lower platform to the upper platform. And it took me so long to figure out that you had to grab hold of the platform and use it for something. The elevator, you actually had to use the elevator for something. And I don't know, I didn't click ever, and it took me forever. But editing-wise, it didn't take that long.
If you already answered, you probably wouldn't do another game that's as dark as Limbo.
I think I would. There's actually a sequel to Limbo that's supposed to be coming out. They have not. There's no information about it at all. But when that sequel comes out, I will for sure be doing that game.
Is it called Macarena?
I have no idea. I don't think it has a name.
I was making a joke with Limbo.
Oh, got it. I'm slow.
No, I don't think anybody caught that.
No, I mean, I get it now. It's fun, but I got it. I'm stupid.
My goal the entire time is to have Josh laughing so hard he hurts afterwards. I got the joke! Anyway, Rayman series. You have this, and then we just have co-ops.
Okay.
And Jepson. And then that's all my questions.
Alright. So,
Rayman!
I love Rayman.
You seem to be a big fan of the series.
I've played every one but the first one. That's pretty sad, right?
I mean, the first one's always kind of like, of the series.
The thing is, the first one is actually really good. It's different compared to what I'm used to, because the first one I played was Rayman 2. But the first one is really good. I've played bits and pieces of it, but I haven't been able to get into it, and I'm hoping that sometime I will sit down and actually play the first game and possibly Let's Play it. I would like to do all of the Rayman games as well. Well, all of the platforming ones. Yeah. Let's put it that way.
There's also like Rayman Raving Rabbids and all that kind of stuff.
Which is fun, but it's not what Rayman is supposed to be.
It's more of a game that's for, like, in between an LP.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I would consider doing a Let's Play of Rayman Raving Rabbids. I think it would be interesting for something on, like, Jepson, which we're going to talk about later. But, yeah, no, and I forgot what I was going to say. Never mind.
That was a good spot.
Yep.
What makes you come back to the series again and again?
Rayman?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the variety. I think it's each game differs very much from the last, while still kind of keeping the same sort of fun atmosphere. Like, Rayman 2 is definitely not the same as Rayman 3. I think Rayman 2 had a very down-to-earth story, whereas Rayman 3 was a little bit over the top. And then Rayman Origins, which I've been playing on my channel with Super Genius, goes back to the more serious side of the story, but then it's really goofy and weird.
Out of all the Rayman games that you've LP'd, which sticks out to you the most, and why?
Oh man, I would say Rayman Origins. Rayman Origins was something different, and I don't want to talk too much about it because I'm still LPing it, and I give my thoughts on it at the end of the LP. But yeah, no, I think Rayman Origins is really cool and very different. I'm really looking forward to playing Rayman Legends as well.
Is there any things in the games that you wish they'd improve on?
I wish they'd stop coming out with crap Rayman games, which they've done now. So I think that's all that I really needed. It was ever since Rayman 3, and even Rayman 3, in my opinion, was not that great. I think that, yeah, the only real problem I've had with the series is that after Rayman 3, no more platforming Rayman games, and it just went down from there.
Until Origins came out.
Until Origins. And I'm very, very happy with Origins. I think it's a lot of fun.
Rayman Origins, a.k.a. Donkey Kong Country Returns 2. Speaking of Donkey Kong Country Returns, that's why I actually said that. That's where actually we're going to now is co-ops and racers.
Yes.
It's
a good segue.
Yes. That's how I roll.
On your segue.
Yes. Now I got sun stuck in my head, thanks. Anyways, an LP that you did with fellow YouTuber Jake, aka Super Genius.
Super Genius, yeah. Donkey Kong Country Returns 2. Or not 2. Donkey Kong Country Returns, because there is no 2.
Why did you guys decide to do this game?
That was just kind of like out of the blue. I had come out here, where I'm currently living now, to PAX Prime. I flew out to go to PAX Prime and I met up with a lot of my friends and hung out. It was a lot of fun. I did not want it to end. So when I went home, I had a thought. I'm like, well, what if I had an excuse to go back and hang out with my friends? So I was like, okay, well, I'll LP a game, right? And I'm like, well, what the heck are we gonna play? And it was kind of like Jake actually came up with the idea to do Donkey Kong Country, and he's listening up to Donkey Kong Country games and thinking about whether or not we should play them. I'm like, I've never played Donkey Kong Country. I've never played the originals, and I know that Jake has, and he's kind of a big fan of the series. But neither of us had ever played Donkey Kong Country Returns. I played maybe the first 2 levels a long time ago, and I was like, well, let's do that blind. That could be a lot of fun. And it ended up being the single most popular video series on my channel.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, God. No!
It's the things you guys said during the LP. Did this start before the LP, or was it accidental, like, something you accidentally said that you thought it was funny and decided to go throughout?
Oh, the Blanaba thing? Oh, that's actually, I think we mentioned it in the as well. That's actually there's a picture online. It's just a funny picture of derp foods. If you just search derp foods on Google, and you'll come up with an image of this list of just funny ways to pronounce food. And one of them was Blanabas. You have like mashed potatoes and obviously that's mashed potatoes, and chicken migfops or something, and that's chicken nuggets. It's like, and then there was Blanabas, and for some reason Jake was just like Blanabas, and I knew exactly what he was talking about too. It's the greatest part. So it just kind of stuck. It carried on through the whole thing, but we didn't make it up.
The levels that you guys had the most time spent on, or gave you the most trouble, was the levels, like the extra levels that you had to unlock.
Right, yeah.
Was there one that sticks out to you that made you want to rage quit?
Oh boy. Roasting Rails level, for sure. It's that one's the one that sticks out the most for, I think, most people in terms of that Let's Play, because that one took us so long to do, and it was very, very difficult. It was legitimately difficult. Like, I've never played a game or a side scroller that has that level of difficulty before. And the thing is, it wasn't really so much that it was difficult, it was just that we weren't very well timed. It was terrible to do in co-op, because you lose double the lives, essentially. And yeah, no, Jake came through with the end of that one, and it was completely silent for the whole thing, and then bam, he wins it for everybody. It was awesome. Very epic moment for him, and I think it was one of the things. I can just imagine if we were doing like that recording live for an audience, that the audience would be going absolutely crazy. Like, I can imagine that last segment when Jake was super quiet, the whole audience would be quiet, and then suddenly cheering, and it would be awesome. I think that would be awesome. Yeah. No, but that's the one that sticks out the most. That and the very last level with all the food, that kind of was surprising.
Sorry, my little brother just walked in. I was like, go away! He's only 10, so. That's interesting, Patrick.
Pico 44444 apparently wants my baby in his belly.
Awkward.
Unfortunately for him, I do not have any babies. Sorry, you're gonna have to go hungry.
That's awkward. Anyway, thank you, Patrick. I modded him, by the way.
Okay.
Another game that you guys co-op is what you guys are currently doing now. She was saying earlier is Rayman Origins, or Oranges. So far you guys have been doing very well. Would you say this far it's easier of the Rayman games you've played?
No. I would actually say it's more difficult. Mostly because I'm bad at side scrollers anyway, but the other I think the idea was that it returns back to its roots, where because the first Rayman game was, of course, a side-scrolling game on the PlayStation 1, and I think it returns to its roots. It returns to its 2D roots, and so it is a little bit more difficult than, say, Rayman 2 or 3, that weren't side-scrolling.
You and Jake seem to make a really good team. Whether it's bouncing things off each other, as to like beating a level, or joking around, or anything like that. What would you say makes your chemistry so strong?
I'm not so sure. I think it's just because I get along with most people. I mean, you could say the same thing about me and Tyler, or me and Lucagen. It's like, it just works, I think. And because these guys, they're my best friends, so it works out, I think. Jake and I think, are very different, and I think that's where the kind of back and forth comes from, because he's got his own humor, and I kind of like make fun of his humor, and then he makes fun of me for making fun of him, and it goes back and forth, and it works. But like I said, you could say the same thing about me and Attacking Toucans as well. We're very different, and it just kind of, it works. It goes very back and forth.
How did you guys decide who would be who on the LPs? Like, if you were Donkey Kong, he was Diddy, or you're Rayman, he's Scorebox. Like, how did you decide who's going to be who? Who's going to be player 1, who's going to be player 2?
Well, they go on my channel, so I'm automatically player 1 because I'm awesome.
Alright, that works for me. You had a glitch in the game recently, and didn't realize it at the time. Did you end up looking it up after?
No, it wasn't until much later that I realized that it was a glitch. Although you can kind of tell right in the moment that it's a glitch. Yeah, apparently it's a well-known thing that they didn't fix, and a lot of the people, I got a lot of I got flamed in the comments a little bit for people saying that it's not that hard. The glitch actually comes more from it being in co-op. So if you're playing by yourself, it's actually easier to get around that glitch and not even notice any problem. But in co-op, it makes it worse because the timing is different for the camera movements. And so for those of you who don't know what the glitch is, it's right at the end of one of the treasure chest chase levels. There's a glitch that, like, the camera snaps immediately to the right, and with no warning and nothing, and it's really, really difficult to get around. You have to essentially float over without touching the ground at all, because that, I guess, that activates the camera movement. It's really dumb.
Alright, now we're on to some of the verses you've done with Mr. Tyler.
Indeed.
You were 2 for 2 with races with Tyler, in both of them. Spoilers! You guys haven't seen them yet. A shrine that you had trouble with on your LP, the one with all of the other characters throwing you around.
Oh, right.
Yep, you know what? Yeah, the Chuckster level. You seem to not have issues when you were doing the race, or at least as many issues. Was that the one you were most concerned about level-wise?
I think the one that I was most concerned about was actually going to be the pachinko machine, the one that's in the Delfino Plaza. I actually didn't have any trouble with the Chuckster level. I didn't think I was going to have any trouble with the Chuckster level on my original LP of it, but I had an awful lot of trouble. It's because I didn't use my rocket pack, or, Flood. I didn't use Flood. I forgot his name for a minute there. I didn't use Flood to the full advantage because it didn't register in my brain originally. So when I went to go do, say, the red coins of the Chuckster level, it actually is a lot easier using Flood to get around than having. You only have to be thrown like once or twice if you do it that way, and all the other ones you can float to the other platforms. So I think that's really what made it easier for me in the verses. I just realized that.
The bananas are in the fact.
Oh God! My bananas.
God.
Yeah, no, that one stuck out for people. I guess a lot of people really liked that one. There's a couple moments in that LP in that verses where the viewers just kind of caught on to it. I don't know what it is about me and bananas in these LPs. We got my bananas are stuck in the fat, and we got blanabas, and there's probably going to be more bananas in the future. Let's be honest.
So many bananas everywhere.
And I don't even like bananas.
Bananas are gross.
I like the artificial flavor banana though, because it doesn't taste anything like bananas.
Oh, there's an artificial flavored banana?
No, I mean artificial flavoring in, like, say, a popsicle or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was like, what?
Yeah.
But basically, I was going to say, was that memory funny in your mind?
It was pretty. I like the voice. I think because it's really easy to replicate, so I can do it at any time for anything. Like I could say it for pizza. I could be like, my pizza! Ah! My pizza's stuck in the fat! My bananas!
Does that hurt your voice?
No.
Falsetto. What was your favorite part of that LP race? Whatever you want to call it.
Versus.
Versus.
I'm not sure. Winning feels good.
Winning's a thing.
I don't know. I think the whole thing was actually a lot of fun. Just sitting down and recording every episode with Tyler. It was a lot of fun. And the big thing here is that me and Tyler don't actually talk all that often. And it wasn't until this versus that we really started talking. Because it forced us to kind of sit down, we would record, and then afterwards spend like an hour just talking. So me and Tyler are good friends because of it, I think. We were good friends before it because that's what we decided to do, a Mario versus. Yeah, no, but I wouldn't say that there's any real favorite part. I think the whole thing is my favorite part. I would like to say something about versus as well, though, while we're still talking about this, because
Okie dokie.
I actually I want to talk about who came up with the idea, because I've been asked this before. Tyler came to me with the idea, which is essentially why it was on his channel. It was kind of his initiation. But I actually had the exact same idea, and it really surprised me when he started talking to me about it, because it was pretty much exactly what I was planning on doing almost a year before he suggested it to me. And at the time, I didn't think of it as kind of an interesting idea. I didn't think anybody would really like it. We all saw how that turned out. So I didn't ever end up doing anything with the idea. But the reason that me and Tyler did this versus originally is because we both had the same idea. Actually, I rejected the idea at first. I was like, I don't think it's going to be that great. But Tyler's like, okay, well, I'll do it with somebody else. I'm like, no, it was my idea originally. I have to be a part of the first one. So I ended up actually just kind of submitting to it. And it ended up being a lot of fun. And a lot of people liked it.
And then you did your other LP, or versus, with Tyler, Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion was a lot of fun as well. I think it was very different though than Super Mario Sunshine.
It was indeed. You basically recorded the entire verses at one time.
Pretty much.
It was the same. Actually, the same time I was getting ready to interview Tyler. He goes, I gotta go record Josh.
Oh, right. I remember because he revealed that I was doing another Let's Play with him before the LP actually started, and that was on Twitter. Like, somebody was like, "Wait a minute, are you doing another Versus with Tyler?" And I'm like, "How did you find that out?" What?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Tyler let that one slip beforehand, but that's okay because it was a lot of people didn't know it was coming, and so it's like, yay! I like to think of Luigi's Mansion Versus as more of an encore to Super Mario Sunshine because I didn't think it was as great as Super Mario Sunshine. It was definitely shorter, and so I just think it was more of an encore than a whole separate thing. Just kind of like, oh, we wanted to do this because everybody loved the first one. So, and everybody loved Luigi's Mansion Versus as well, but I didn't think that one went over nearly as well as the original. So,
was it harder to play because you didn't get to plan out or practice as much?
No, not really. Actually, I think overall, playing wise, it went decently because I did beforehand play through the game, and Tyler did as well. We did have some trouble with the last episode of it, though. Originally, we had recorded all 8 episodes in one sitting, but the last episode went over very, very terribly, so we ended up redoing the last one, which a lot of people don't know. Tyler had never beaten the game before. He had never completed the final boss, and this kind of screwed both of us over in the last episode, and Tyler was really dumb for doing it this way, but he ended up spending maybe 20 minutes just trying to defeat the final boss, and we ended up just giving up. He died like 4 or 5 times. So to give him kind of a more fair chance, he still lost, but to give him more of a fair chance at winning, we just decided to redo it and go for it. Which we ended up doing way later on, because the reason we were doing all of the episodes at one time was because I was moving, and so I wanted to have something that I was able to put up every week while I was moving, something that wouldn't be too strenuous to edit. Well, I guess Versus kind of more difficult to edit than a regular Let's Play, but at least I didn't have to record it. So while I was moving, I had that, and once I got settled down, that's when we recorded the last episode, and I didn't think it went over as well because there was such a long period of time between episode 7 and episode 8 recording. So,
so you never were worried that you were going to lose?
No. Tyler's terrible at video games, let's be honest here.
Thought I'd at least ask.
And I'm going to beat him in the next one, too, whenever that may be.
P-Call says there's something happening with my mic. Probably because I keep, like, bouncing because I have a bad back. Yes! I'm like, hi! I'm like a freaking Barbie doll. The Muscle Man, who seemed to give you a lot of trouble. Was this the point where you worried that Tyler might catch up to you?
Say that again?
The Muscle Man Ghost. I never call anybody by their actual name.
What's his name? His name is... Can't remember. Never mind. Go on.
Anyway, you probably know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Butch Atlas? No, not Butch Atlas.
Biff Atlas.
Biff Atlas. There you go.
Thank you, Neo Tornado. Seemed to give you a lot of trouble, like, a lot of trouble. Yeah. That wasn't the one you died on, was it? I wanted to say it was, but I couldn't remember off the top of my head.
I didn't die on any specific ghost. The only time I died was in the dugout, which is the worst time to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But were you worried that Tyler was going to catch up at that point?
He did catch up.
Like pass you and completely beat you after that?
I was surprised at no, I wasn't really worried. Because the way that we do the verses, we decided to let me spawn exactly where I was previously. Like, Tyler would get a few extra minutes, and I would spawn where, in the next episode, I would start where I died. So, I don't know, I think it balanced out, and me and Tyler ended up being neck and neck right at the end, except for the fact that he skipped over a few boos, and he had to go back for the boos, and that kind of screwed him.
Portal 2 co-op.
Oh boy! Oh, this is different. Oh, yeah, this is different. This isn't even one on my own channel. I would like to talk about this. Yes. Okay. Go on. Sorry.
You did a collab with John Paula, and you had done the collab before with Portal 2, but was this LP harder because, well, you never actually, my audio keeps clipping.
It sounds great on my end. It sounds great over Skype, but I don't know what it sounds like on the stream.
Apparently it's clipping. That's what Tyler, or
Patrick.
Yeah. Patrick. Sorry, Patrick. I think it's because I keep